USCIS rules could turn your green card interview into something much more dangerous than you ever imagined. If you think this only happens to others, think again. These rules apply in 2025, and they could affect thousands of applicants like you. This is Immiscope, your trusted source for U.S. immigration news, policy changes, and visa updates. New USCIS regulations now allow immigration officers to act with the same authority as federal agents. That means they can conduct investigations, submit cases for prosecution, and even arrest applicants during interviews. This doesn't change who qualifies for a green card, but it completely changes how officers can enforce the rules. And the consequences for applicants who are unprepared could be serious. Stay with us as we break down what changed, who's most at risk, and what steps you can take to protect yourself. What changed? Until now, USCIS officers handled applications and interviews while enforcement actions were left to ICE. If fraud or red flags appeared, officers could refer the case, but they didn't make arrests themselves. That balance just shifted. Under the new policy, USCIS is no longer just about forms and approvals. Things have changed. Today, officers sitting across from you in an interview have new powers. They can arrest applicants on the spot if something doesn't add up. They don't need to wait for ICE or another agency to step in. They can also open investigations on their own. If they see red flags, they don't just make a note, they can act immediately. And it doesn't stop there. Officers now have the authority to send cases straight for prosecution. This is a big shift. USCIS has always been seen as a benefits agency, a place where you go to apply, to get approved, to move one step closer to your goal. But now, it has enforcement teeth. For immigrants, that means interviews carry more weight. Every answer matters. Every detail is checked. And the room for error is smaller than ever before. It's not just processing anymore. It's policing. And that marks a major reset in U.S. immigration. Who it affects? The rules do not change who qualifies for a green card. Marriage-based, family-based, and employment-based eligibility remains the same. But the interview environment will be different. Couples applying after overstays or unauthorized work will face closer questioning. Applicants who entered on visitor visas but quickly married may be flagged as high risk. Anyone with inconsistent records or missing evidence could be exposed to further scrutiny. Even legitimate applicants may face delays or denials if they cannot provide strong, consistent evidence. How enforcement works. Think about how USCIS used to work. An officer would review your file. They'd ask questions. If something seemed suspicious, they would simply make a note. From there, it was up to IC to decide whether to investigate or make an arrest. But now, that final step can happen instantly. The interviewing officer doesn't have to wait. They can act right there in the moment. This changes everything. Discretion matters more than ever. One officer now has the power to escalate your case without handing it off to IC. Risks and consequences. The obvious risk is arrests at interviews, something already happening but likely to increase. But even without arrest, the new powers can affect you. More delays if officers decide to investigate further. Higher chance of denials when cases raise red flags. Greater pressure during interviews, as applicants may feel like they're being interrogated by law enforcement, not just caseworkers. Fraud prevention is necessary, but critics worry that giving so much power to individual officers could lead to overreach, bias, or inconsistent decisions. Real-life examples. Take this example: a visitor who marries a U.S. citizen just 2 weeks after arriving. In the old system, the case might still move forward if the couple could show strong evidence of a real marriage. Today, that same case could trigger an immediate investigation. The officer might assume intent to commit fraud and escalate the file. Another case, someone applying for a marriage-based green card after working without authorization. Technically, they might still qualify. But now, instead of moving past the issue, an officer could treat it as a reason to question their credibility or even refer it for enforcement. These are not just hypotheticals. They represent the new reality for thousands of applicants. Tips and warnings. So, what can you do to protect yourself in this new environment? Preparation is no longer optional, it's essential. Over-prepare your evidence. Don't settle for the minimum paperwork. Bring joint financial records, leases, utility bills, photos, and affidavits. The more documentation you provide, the stronger your case looks. Know your red flags. Quick marriages, visa overstays, or inconsistent travel history almost always raise suspicion. If these apply to you, be ready with clear and honest explanations. Work with professionals. An immigration attorney or accredited representative can prepare you for tough questions. Highlight weaknesses in your file and help you present a stronger case. Possible benefits. Now, to be fair, not all of this is negative. These powers could help USCIS weed out fraudulent applications faster. That means genuine applicants, people with solid cases and strong evidence, may eventually see quicker approvals once questionable cases are cleared out of the system. But in the short term, the reality is more pressure, more questions, and higher stakes for everyone. The rules for eligibility haven't changed. What's changed is the process and the power dynamic inside the interview room. USCIS officers now hold federal agent powers: arrest, investigation, prosecution. That means every applicant walking into an interview in 2025 is stepping into a higher stakes environment than ever before. Prepare carefully. Present more evidence than you think you need. Know your weak spots. And don't assume that a small mistake will be overlooked, because now it won't. If this video helped you understand the new USCIS powers, make sure to hit like, subscribe, and turn on the bell icon so you don't miss the next update. Here at Immiscope, we break down these changes so you're always one step ahead. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.